Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Raptors here. Today bringing you the Wukong build that you guys have been probably waiting for or have already seen with many other people posting various builds on how to play the Monkey King Wukong. Today I'm going to show you two builds. I'm going to show you my offlane build and my carry build. So there's two different roles here that Wukong that I feel he caters towards the best. Now, a lot of people obviously think he should be playing the safe lane, and that's true, he can be played in the safe lane, but me as an offlaner main, if you don't know by now, I usually play a lot of jungle and a lot of offlane. Those are the niches, and I feel like my strongest points when it comes to filling out roles is the offlane and jungle. And Wukong offers himself with his kit to the offlane role really well. Surprisingly, his passive stance, gives him, I believe, 80 CXP when it's already maxed out on those minion hits, the ones that are highlighted. Then he also gets 80 plus health on his defensive stance with his passive as well, which is really good. It provides survivability, and then also provides yourself a means to get CXP if you're behind on CXP as an offlaner, which is usually the situation for a lot of offlaners. Also, the second strongest points why he's pretty good in the offlane is he's evasive. In his defensive stance, he can be really evasive with his cloud walk, and then his little jump, which is R1 or right click, I believe. And then he also has really good wave clear. He is an objective taker, as I like to call him. He can take down towers. He can steal jungle. He could take down inhibitors and cores and prime and raptors really fast without having to devote a lot of it into like power or lifesteal and stuff. So he's just really good in the offlane. Evasive, survivability, he can get CXP, he has really good split push potential, and he's just really good in the offlane. So that's the main build I'm gonna show you, is an offlane build. Now, the way I approach Wukong in this build is I didn't want to invest all my points into crit chance and lifesteal, which usually takes up a lot to get the most out of it. If you want to build lifesteal, I feel like you really have to invest all your points into crit chance, into power, to be able to benefit from that. So the way I went about it is I still have a lot of power in this build. Like, this is a damage dealing build. Like, you're gonna hit hard and you're gonna take down towers and inhibitors and clear camps and clear waves really fast with all the power and the attack speed that you have in here. But the way I went about it is I also built some health with some other cards that I'm gonna mention here in the build. So we build some health. I believe we get around 2,400 health. So you're not squishy. You're definitely not squishy, but you definitely have to play to Wukong's strength and know how to play as Wukong. So being evasive, knowing when to use certain abilities also is a really big impact on your survivability with this role. Just because you built up a little health doesn't mean you're going to be tanky enough like other bruiser builds that I've mentioned, which usually includes like tempered plates and tuned barriers and are a lot more tankier. But I feel like Wukong does excel in providing damage for your team. And I think he really excels when having a jungler who has strong CC, or a support who also has strong CC to accompany Wukong, because yet again, Wukong doesn't have a lot of crowd control abilities. The only thing he has is his pushback and his little slow with his offensive stance jump thingy. But yeah, so I think he fits really good into having that good team comp with strong CC, and also like a ranger carry, and he's also there to provide that damage, but more towards that offlane role, as this build is gonna exemplify. So anyways, this is top tier builds where we go from the early game to the mid game and to the late game. I break it down why, and I show you why I pick certain cards in this build. And yeah, we're gonna get right into this one. So we're going to go into the utility. The prime card that I like using in this build is the Centurion. It's going to give us 300 extra health. Now again, this can be switched out for the Warlord. It's going to give you extra attack speed. I just like being one of those kind of initiator, fighter, front line guys. And also, if I'm split pushing, I'm also probably most likely gonna get engaged on, so having extra health, I believe, helps me more in that role. But again, if you want the Warlord to deal more damage, then go ahead and pick up the Warlord. We're also going to include a barrier token, a guard token, a health potion, healer token, Empyrean Mask, and a dummy ward as well. So the barrier token and the guard token, I like having them. So I like having the guard token just to get it if they're poking a lot on the off lane. And then also I have the barrier token to deal with Revenant. If I'm going against a Revenant and I back and I have like 1 point, I'm gonna pick up my barrier token so I can negate that obliterate that does a crap ton of damage. So that's why we have that. And then we also have Empyrean Mask on my first back. If I have 4 points, or later in the game if I have 4 points in the early game, I'm gonna pick up Empyrean Mask. It's a great card. It gives you power. You can cycle between power, or you can cycle between guard and barrier armor. And then you can also cycle to mana regen as well, which is great for being on the off lane, and Wukong definitely benefits from that. Your dummy ward, again, the dummy ward strat, pretty classic strat. You know, get your dummy ward at the beginning of the game, put in the off lane so you can have some vision for yourself and your jungler when he comes to gank, and that's always good. And then you pick up your healer token and your health potion to start off as your starting cards. Now moving into the early game, it's pretty basic here. We have 3 rolling wands, all of them having minor strikes in them. They're all 6-point cards, and they give us a lot of power, and they give us a lot of attack speed as well. I feel like Wukong definitely benefits a lot from attack speed, again, due to his passive ultimate, 84,000 hairs, and that's really good for that. Also, we have a Guardian's Ward in there as well. You can pick up your Guardian's Ward, and then you could build it up in the mid game. I usually pick up my Guardian's Ward first, but I don't upgrade it. So pick up your Guardian's Ward that I'm gonna mention in the mid game, and then focus on upgrading your 3 whirling wands. Now we're going to be moving on to the mid game. Now in the mid game, there's no definitive build path I like following. It's all based on what I feel I'm gonna benefit from the most, but you do have some options here in the mid game with 3 cards that I'm going to mention here. Now the first card is going to be your Guardian's Ward, which was the ward I mentioned in the early game. Now you can start building it up if you want. And the Guardian's Ward, I throw a greater health and 2 major strikes, making it a 12-point card. Again, having vision and a little bit of health and more power being built up in there. And by this time, I still have my whirling wands, my minor whirling wands. Most of the time I still have them, so I have a really good attack speed, and I can split push like a fucking boss with all those cards right now. So our second card, you can pick up a Quenching Scales. I throw in a 1/2/2, making it a 9-point card. Now I like having Quenching Scales because it provides some utility to my team, and it can also benefit for myself as well. If I'm split pushing, I'm low in health, I could just pop a Quenching and, you know, I'm good to go. And it's also going to give us the health upgrade options, which is going to be some of our tankiness is going to be with this card, which we build up some health in there with 5 points of health. And I just like having utility for my team while at the same time building up my health. So that's a really good card I like picking up. Then our third card is a Stab Blink. Now you're wondering, why the hell do I throw a blink on Wukong when he's already super evasive and hard to kill? Well, I throw in the Stab Link in here to basically make him unkillable. Literally. A Wukong with a Stab Link, you cannot catch the guy. I don't know how hard you try or how good you are at landing a freaking stun or whatever the hell you do. It's so hard to catch Wukong with a Stab Link, man. Especially if he's an aggressive split pusher, which is what I like doing a lot. Now, when I say aggressively split pushing, I'm not overextending and feeding and getting myself killed. Obviously, that comes into the offlane role. You know, you ward, you have really good map awareness, you have a mental image on the map in which certain heroes are missing. So there's certain other elements that provide you to split push aggressively, but at the same time split push smartly, not just stupid dumb getting yourself killed. So with this card, it just literally makes me so hard to catch as an offlaner. So they always have to answer me if I'm split pushing really hard, and if they even rotate towards me, I'm gonna blink, I'm a cloud walk, I'm a jump, I'm a blink again, and I'm a cloud walk, and I'm gonna be out. So after you get your stab link, you could get your whirling wand. It's your last card that you get here in the mid game. It's a 12-point whirling wand. Honestly, this is the first card that I pick up in the mid game. So after I build up my minor whirling wands, I get my major whirling wand to get even more attack speed, because by then I have pretty good power built up and I just wanted to hit faster, to take down objectives faster with my clones. But yeah, so this is honestly the card that I pick up first, but you do still have the options to pick up your other cards that I mentioned here in the mid game. So now moving on to the late game, it's our last two cards here, and they're both Elder Mage Amulets. In the first Elder Mage Amulet, we have a 3/2/2, making it a 10-point card. And our second Elder Mage Amulet, we have a 3/3/3, making it a 12-point card. Now with the Elder Mage Amulets upgrade bonuses, we get around 180 health, I believe. Yeah, we get 180 health, so that's going to build up our health even more by the late game. So our final build is looking with 2 Elder Mage Amulets, your Guardian's Ward, your 12-point Whirling Wand, your Quenching Scales, and your Stab Link. And again, around full build, I believe you have around 2,400 health, I believe. And then you also have the Centurion, so if the Prime is activated, you're going to get another 300 extra health, which is really going to build up your health pool here. And again, you're building again that health to be able to take some shots, but also you're building up a lot of damage and attack speed, which helps you take towers, clear camps, and just literally melt through objectives like raptors and or prime super freaking fast. This build, I believe at 30 or 34 CXP, when you get your 12-point whirling wand, you can honestly solo prime, you can solo raptors, you could take down towers extremely fast, because at that point you have all your minor whirling wands, then you have your big 12-point whirling wand, and then after that you build some damage with like your Elder Mage or your Guardian's Ward, and it's so freaking good, guys. I really like this build, and I hope you guys can use this to your advantage, especially if you're a good offlaner. I will feel like good offlaners will find this build to be really good, while at the same time providing your team with that extra power boost that Wukong can deliver to the table by having good initiation and fighting and good literate ways to use Wukong the right ways. So I hope you guys enjoyed the offlane build, but now we're going to be moving on to the carry build, which is honestly a full damage build, so we're going to get right into that. So now I'm going to show you my Wukong carry build. I'm going to try to go through this pretty fast for you guys so you can just get a gist of what is that I'm building here. Again, both of these builds are in the description if you want to take a more in-depth look at them. Prime card is the Warlord, gives us more attack speed. You start with 2 strike tokens, a healer token. You start with the healer token and a strike token in the safe lane with your support. We throw in a dummy ward. You throw this in the beginning of the match, the early couple seconds, put that down to get some vision. We have a ward with no upgrades. We use this ward and we discard it late game when we have our full build. I just have this to be able to have vision throughout most of the game and to provide myself safe farm and prevent myself from getting killed from ganks and stuff. Our first cards is 3 whirling wands, all of them 6-point cards with minor power. We go through these, we burn through these, then we get our wind carver blade, another early game card, 6-point card again. So we have 4 6-point cards in this build, giving us a lot of attack speed and a lot of power. After that, we usually have built up a lot of power, and I like going into my 12-point whirling wand with 3 major kinetics. Again, I feel like Wukong benefits a lot from kinetic through that clone passive that he has to be able to tear through waves and farm up really quickly and take raptors really quickly. Once you built up your whirling wands, your wind cover blade, and your 12-point whirling wand, you could take raptors really fast. You can do it solo, and you can burn through those to get some CXP. Then after that, I usually like going into my Rift Mage's Scepter, Major Wound, Major Strike, making it a 12-point card. Or I like going into my Siren Song. Siren Song is an active card. You usually have probably never seen this card, but I like using it on Wukong because it's an active. You can use this card every 30 seconds. For 6 seconds on hit with a basic attack, steal 80% movement speed. from targets for 3 seconds. Now, the thing that I think Wukong struggles in is sticking on to his targets. Again, Wukong has no crowd control abilities. So what I usually do is I engage with my offensive stance and I give them that slow with my little slam that he does. And then I activate Siren Song right after. And I continuously just slow them down with my basic attacks, allowing my clones to do some damage on them. And then usually I'm faster than them and I can get in front of them, and then I push them back into my clones, dealing even more damage with that. With this, we throw a greater drain in there, making it a 12.5 lifesteal card. So give us that sustain while we're fighting. And again, Siren Song just allows them to stick on to enemies a lot more and allows your clones to do a little bit more work than they usually do, which is a little problem that I found with Wukong, but Siren Song helps alleviate some of that problem that he has with that. After that, again, you can build up your Spear of the Rift Hunter, 3/3/3 wound, making it a 12-point card. And then obviously we go into your Blade of Agora after that. So you can go into your Siren Song early, or you can go straight into your crit. It's up to you. And then later you can pick up your Siren Song. It's up to you again. You get 64% crit chance. You have a lot of attack speed, so you're going to benefit from that Siren Song. So your final build is your Rift Mage's Scepter, a 12-point card. Your Spear of the Rift Hunter, another 12-point card. Then your 12-point Whirling Wand with major kinetics. Your 6-point Windcarver Blade, you keep that for the final build. Then your Siren Song is your other card. And then your Blade of Agora is your other card that you keep in the final build. Each swipe, you do around 500 and something damage, I believe, around there. And you have a lot of attack speed, again, to keep that into mind. And then you have Siren Song as well to be able to stick onto your enemies and slow them down with that attack speed and Siren Song combination that you got going on there. But anyways, guys, both of these builds, the offlane and the carry build, will be in the description below, so you can check them out more in depth if you want to take a look at them. But anyways, it's your boy Raptors, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.